congrats. Getting win over
Yeah,
Saunders.
just shows I've been in the league a long time.
Talk about your finally got some production from your bench tonight.
Right.
How they contributed.
Well, I think one is I think that I told our guys afterwards, last night's loss was probably as tough having won 600 games. It was probably as tough a loss I've had as far as the regular season from the standpoint that all that they've gone through here in the last few weeks, and then they're trying to play the right way. We're playing hard, trying to share the ball, but we haven't had much to show for it. We've been in games, close games, but we haven't won some of those here over the last week, and so it was nice to see them come back. I think our bench knew more than anything else. They knew they were going to have to play. I think we challenged them prior to the game. And as I said in my pregame talk, and I told the players, hey, if you're not going to play hard, there's no guarantees you'll play. And I said, Nick, you'll play 30 seconds. If there's a loose ball and you don't want to get on the floor for a loose ball, and, there's no entitlement. And so I think because of that, they went out there with the idea. Sometimes when you go out there with the idea of just playing hard and reckless, you don't think about results, and good results happen. So I think that's what happened. And Earl got us going in that second quarter. He made some big shots. Made some unbelievable shots around the basket over some of their big people. And defensively, our zone was really good for us. Very good for us, especially in the first half. We were able to switch in the second half, kind of keep them off balance. And actually, depending on what defense we played, we could pretty much dictate almost who they were going to put on the floor, because they had certain people they wanted to play against us in the zone, which maybe gave us better mismatches at the other end offensively.
And with JaVale specifically, what did you see from him in this game?
Well, one, we played a lot of zone. We let him play the middle. And he protected the basket. He got tired at times, but I think that there's a situation that we probably have to start playing more zone, because we're starting. The more we're playing, we're getting a little bit better, and he is he's shown right now that he's a pretty good player in the middle of that. So that might be his at this point that might be one of his calling cards.
Pretty even scoring distribution all around.
Yeah.
Talk about Randy's game management.
He had, he's still learning. He's still curly Neal every now and then, watching the Harlem Globetrotters out there, dribble all around. So I got on him at halftime a few times. He's just got to make quicker decisions. But he's, when Randy, he doesn't do anything that it's not because he's trying to not do the right thing. He's very coachable. And the more he's in those situations, the better he's going to get. He did a better job game management down the stretch tonight than maybe last night, as far as making sure that we made them defend either Karan or defend Antoine in mismatch type situations.
Now down the stretch of this game, what was different tonight in this game that allowed you to finish them off as opposed to last night when you guys were able to finish the game?
Last night we played the Bulls. Tonight we played Sacramento. The Bulls, their matchups defensively, the Bulls are extremely long. As far as, they're putting Dang on either Antoine or on Karan, and they got Tyrese Thomas, and they got Noah, so they're much longer. So they gave us much more problems as far as being able to get our guys the ball, at spots as far as down the stretch. So.
Coach, do you see any consistency coming from the starting five?
Well, I think they're getting into more of a rhythm. Steve shot the ball well. He's worked a lot on his shooting. I think he's getting in better shape. He's got a little bit more lift in his shot, so he's doing some of those things a little bit better. And I think overall, I think the other thing we're doing is we're taking care of the ball better. Tonight we had 10 turnovers. Last night, you only had 3 turnovers in the first half, and so that's been the thing that I've always stressed. If we don't turn the ball over, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win games down the stretch.
You talked about the chemistry early in the season not happening. With the guys now starting on a regular basis, do you see that gelling starting to happen now?
Oh, I think a little bit. It's tough. I think right now, I'll be honest, I don't know if any of us have had a chance to even think about that with all the events that's happened over the last 3 weeks. Everything has been, like I said, this whole 3 weeks has been kind of more of a surreal situation.
I apologize if you
Yeah.
missed this already. Can you talk about the play of your bench?
Yeah, and then we just said, they knew they had to play. We challenged them that if they didn't play hard and didn't react to loose balls in certain situations, they wouldn't play. There was not entitlement. So I think they went out there more with the idea of went out there to make something good happen instead of going out there to play to not make a mistake.
You touched on the 600 win, but can you just go into a little bit deeper what that means to you?
Oh, it's you win games because you have. I think there's three factors involved. Number one is you're in a situation where you have the management team gives you great support. Both from a standpoint of how you want to play and things you want to do. In Minnesota, I took over a team that had lost 60 games 5 straight years, and we basically went and we knew we had to change our mindset. We had to change how we were going to play. We had to change, some personnel, and it took us a year to do that, but we did it. And then we went and rolled off, 8, 9 straight playoff runs. Last one being in the conference finals, and then the management also put it in a situation to get the people that need be. And then what I've done is I've had players that are all committed to winning, and that individual accomplishments was not. That wasn't a big thing. I think they knew that if the team had success, that the individual accomplishments would happen, and so I've been very fortunate in those situations. And I was fortunate for my first 9 years as a coach. Maybe the as I say, he'll go down as the greatest all-around player in Garnett. How he plays, his ability to defend all over the floor, defend 5 positions, score, rebound, do everything. And then, of course, in Detroit, my last 3 years, I had a team that was built to win. So that's it's funny because you win 600 games, you remember the losses, you don't remember many of the wins. That's the tough thing about it. You wish you would, but you remember more of the games you didn't get than the ones you got.
You mentioned in Minnesota there was a need for a mindset change. So 1 year, and then you guys had this sustained playoff run. You said similar stuff about this year's team. Do you see any other parallels between the two situations?
Well, I think a little bit. The one thing we had there is that I had Garnett at 19 years old, but we knew that he was going to be the man for a long time. And he was just a freak athlete and a freak player in his mind, in his intelligence. So, I think that, but it's very similar as far as here, and it took us some time there. And sometimes whether it's the players you have or you bring in a couple players or whatever you do, you can change that, and that's what we did in Minnesota. So, overall here, there's so much talk about guys not being here and everything else. This team, it's scary because we're not that far away, yet we are far away, and so. The players have to understand, and they really have to take the mentality that we're far away, because that's how they have to go out and perform that way with that sense of urgency. But we don't have players that don't want to win. Here, we have players that want to win. I think there's, there's things that they're all learning as far as from a professional standpoint. Especially when you have so many young players that are trying to develop, and you have a couple. Of veteran players, and you're trying to blend those guys all in. So hopefully what we can do is, we're home here for a long time. Hopefully we can get a little bit of tread here at home, get our feet underneath us as far as getting into a routine. I think the one thing that I've been most impressed with, and in both my situations, we had unbelievable fan support in Minnesota. Detroit, when I was there, I never coached in front of a non-sellout game when I was there, and they had unbelievable as far as enthusiasm. And I think the one thing that I've seen through our situation here over these last 3 weeks is the support of our fans. They have really given, great support, and hopefully they'll continue to do that, because our guys, those guys in there have been hurt in the last, with losses they hurt, with the situation they hurt, and they want to do well, and they want to represent the city in a very positive way. And it's been nice how the people have reacted very positive to our players and how they've played in a, sometimes an undermanned situation.